I believe this video is long overdue, but we need to talk. First things first, this is probably the reason people clicked on this video. Project Moon players tend to be pretty predictable. Jokes aside, with the start of Season 7, I feel like the Project Moon community has been going downhill. So I guess it would be right to say it's been happening for a while, but with this season it became a lot more obvious. There's a few key things that I want to point out in that regard, starting with people being so, I guess, bipolar on identities and egos and whatnot. It is way too common to see people see a kit reveal on Monday and suddenly there's a bunch of people calling it mid only for it to release, and suddenly those same people start glazing it like it was garlic bread too. And I guess that comes from the fact that the community is simply way too quick to action whenever something happens, which brings me to my next point. Project Moon announces something a little controversial and people just jump the gun, and the loud minority makes it seem like it's the end of the world, resulting in either Kim Ji-hoon, the director, having to apologize for even suggesting a change that wasn't even that terrible or was for the betterment of the game or their team. And yes, I'm talking about the times he wanted to nerf an identity for very logical reasons and for the betterment of the power curve and balance of the game, only for people to more or less cause a riot and make said nerfs not happen anymore. Yes, I'm talking about Ringi-sang and Mao Faust incident. Project Moon made it very clear as for why they were doing it, and both times it was perfectly understandable. It's their game, they get to shape it how they want. But people just outright bullied the director into not doing them, and both apologies from him felt like watching a sopping wet puppy being kicked for, I don't know, not being under a roof or to not be rained on. This whole jumping the gun thing doesn't end here. There are people to this day who think the reason Season 6 had one less intervalo and no railway because of the Arknights collab, which wasn't even the case because the director in the livestream revealed that, in his own words, it was not the cause. It was Season 7 and Kanto 9 releasing in December, not the Arknights collab. And if the December release wasn't happening, they just delay it and let the second Intervalo and Railway 6 release in that season. Not like we had, the long-awaited return of a previous Railway in a hard mode version no less on that season as well. I'm fully aware of the Project Moon players are illiterate joke, but there comes a fucking point where it's no longer a joke and it's a genuine issue. And there's also the elitism and meta-slavery of the community that resulted in a lot of streamers and whatnot from turning off their live chat or making it certain members only. Like for Twitch it would be Prime sub or just sub only or just emote only. On top of being illiterate, I feel like this community just never learns. And from there, this point just actually me off so much. The Bloodfiend hate posts. At first, I thought it was just a dumb joke, but it wasn't. There were people who genuinely believed that the Bloodfiends are hot garbage and they were celebrating the release of the ring units because it meant the Bloodfiends are finally dead. What the fuck are you on? Bleed, the entire debuff and archetype as a whole has been volatile since the beginning of the game due to how it works. The more coins the enemy has, the harder it is to sustain a stack, to the point where there are certain bosses that, if you don't have Sanguine Desire, it is outright impossible to make and keep a stack regardless of the identities or ego, besides Sanguine, that you run. And yet the most common issue people have is them having no count, as in they don't inflict any bleed count. I don't think people understand that. If an enemy has a 4 unbreakable coin skill, it means that even Ring Honglu skill 2 is not starting a stack with it. It doesn't matter the identities when the boss is what shapes what you do with your bleed team. Yet the hate posters' complaints were, anonymously, blood fiends having no count. And to that I say, please see the following message from the script of this video. And if you don't understand what that means, a 4 unbreakable coin skill consumes 8 bleed count without considering any clash losses on the sinner side or clash ties. So at minimum it loses 8 bleed count. Do you have any idea how much that is? And I guess people just ignore that because Ring Honglu has 1 more bleed count than Princess Rhodia. And I just don't fucking understand, and I never will. And if someone is a blood fiend hater in the comments, just leave a comment. You boost me in the algorithm. I don't even care. And the last thing, the raid bosses. I really could make an entire video about this, but to keep it short for this one, I think there's some of the worst content the game has had thus far, and for a very specific reason. And hear me out before you go into the comments and say that I am wrong, before you even hear what I have to say. Okay? First things first, Limbus is a team building game, and the flexibility of what you can do in this game is just impressive. There is so much you can do. It's why I've been playing since release. I've not really played a game that lets you do so much and modify so much and let you have fun like that. What do the raid bosses do? They take that flexibility and throw it out the fucking window. The strictness of them is so absurd, it killed any ounce of fun I might have had with them. With Ricardo being the worst of the two that we've had thus far at the time of this video. If you don't run the middle for the first phase of Ricardo, you are just fucked because of all the garbage game design he has. Phase 2 is a little more chill. I beat it on with sinking, but doesn't change the fact that this boss is severely dragged down by how stupidly fast he scales without any meaningful method to slow him down, prevent it, or reduce it. They just didn't really think this boss through in terms of making it fun. By turn 3, he's already fully capable of one-shotting your sinners. Even if they are neutral to blunt damage, he can just one-shot them. Because if you get staggered, your blunt resistance becomes 2.0, and then the bonus blunt damage gets multiplied by that and you just die. It's so fucking stupid. And do you want to know what people said when I made a simple comment lightly complaining about this? They said this: it's endgame content and it's skippable. And to put it simply and clearly, I'm a gacha hater. I don't like that type of monetization, I guess. So I don't know how other games do it, and I don't give a flying fuck about it. But just because it's endgame content, that doesn't mean it's not bullshit and artificially difficult, and that being more or less blocked from attempting to use something other than what ProjectMoon wants you to run. This is a team building game, and the raid bosses don't let me team build, and that's my fucking issue. If you don't use the middle for Ricardo, and trust me, I tried to not use the middle, and it was insufferable. Absolutely insufferable. I couldn't do more than 1000 damage. That's just like 10% of the way through the first phase. Because by that point everyone was either half dead or had so much of that stupid debuff that if they attacked Ricardo even once, they were just dead. And the fact that this content is optional or skippable doesn't change the that this is stupid and bullshit. Optional content isn't barred from criticism just because you don't have to do it. There are a lot of games with optional content, and that is a part of the game. And because it's a part of the game, it's allowed to be criticized, and just because you can come back later or just don't do it, again, it doesn't change the fact that it's still possible to criticize it and say that it is bad. There is a lot of optional content out there in other games that is bad. And at the end of the day, I just want to say I am just done with this kind of stuff. There comes a point where you reach unk status like me and realize how sometimes it's best to just not bother anymore. I don't really interact or engage with communities much. I mean, I make content on Limbus and comment on videos and go on Reddit from time to time, but that's kind of it. I don't go to more public places for this kind of stuff, but just places that I am on, I just can't bring myself to go there anymore. I just realize that some things need to change, and this brings me to my next point. Although Limbus has been the game that got me the most success thus far, I have to say that I am toning down the uploads of Limbus videos, which in turn, the heavy heart, I have to say, the tomfoolery and one-offs videos that are just done. Though not in the way that you think. They're not discontinued, I'm still going to make Limbus content, but think of it as the end of Season 1 for these two. Season 2, in quotations, I want to do something different with them. I want the tomfoolery videos to be more about goofing about and making them be better edited. Montages are fun, but at some point you just realize you need to stop. They are good for like a small section in a large video, like going through boring stuff to make it look more entertaining, but it's kind of hard to just do that non-stop. It just isn't fun anymore. I want to make them stand out more and make them a little more cinematic, like I did with the Poison miniseries, mini arc, or whatever you wanna call it. Those felt like real tomfoolery. Maybe not. I don't know. I will see what I will do with them. And as for the one-offs, they'll still be more lightly edited, but I want to change their formula a bit. They're called one-offs after all. Maybe I'll make them have more of a skit kind of vibe, or some highlights of the grind or something goofy like that. I don't know. I'll figure out what I want to do with them some other time. And I'm primarily doing this because I don't like making low effort videos. I learned to edit for a reason, and I want to make everything feel authentic, like it was me who made it, not generic showcase video number 7. It's why I rarely, if ever, post solo content on this channel, because there's already like 10 different channels that do that, and joining the fray is kind of meh. Besides that, I want to do different things as well. A super poise guide, and maybe for other statuses that I enjoy, a somewhat commentary video about Limbus related stuff. I don't know. Again, I'll just figure it out on the way. Besides that, I want to finish Ruina, finally, after months of not touching the game. Don't worry, I didn't give up on the game. I do want to finish it. I just didn't have the time to bring myself to play it. I'll probably stream the endgame to make it less tedious, because I have some things to say about Ruina. I have a whole Abraham Lincoln levels of honest review that I have been planning for this game for a while, but at first I want to finish the game. And of course, for the illiterates and iPad kids around you, less Project Moon, pick quality Project Moon instead. Understood? Well, since we're on the topic of content, this script and voiceover is done before the release of the Healer vs Calamity finale, but to put it simply, I have enjoyed making the bigger videos, with the Epic Battle Fantasy V no buffs or debuffs challenge, and the Healer video, as stale to edit as that one was. I say this because primarily, unlike Limbus or Ruina, I get to do more with them. I guess it's a mentality thing or something, but basically, I had more fun editing those than most of the Limbus videos I've made, especially recently. There was a lot to do, a lot to show, a lot to talk about, a lot of jokes to be made. Limbus content has just been draining since to put it bluntly, I've been feeling burnt out on making it. Videos start blending in together, and when that happens, it just makes making more videos feel like a chore. This channel is a hobby, and hobbies are meant to be fun, not tedious. So, I'm gonna start focusing more on making Terraria videos and other games as well, when I have the time. I kinda want to do the no boss or debuff challenge on the previous games from Epic Battle Fantasy. Maybe I will even do EBF 2, I don't know about that, I'll have to see how hard the game becomes. EBF 1, absolutely not. Absolutely fucking not. Especially on Epic. I'm not touching that game on Epic with a 10-foot pole. On top of playing crosscode and maybe doing some Stardew videos and generally make the content be more varied. I wanna vary out the content more. When you dig yourself into a pit with a certain type of content, it's really hard to climb out. A lot of YouTubers can confirm that. Hopefully things do go well for me. It was shown to be possible for non-Limbus videos to do well. Like the Spirit Reforged video, the first one. It reached over 1,000 views, that's pretty good. It just depends on what I do and how I do it. Dedication is key, and I shoot as shit, I'm dedicated despite how lazy I am sometimes. In terms of upload frequency, it will depend. I doubt I can do a video a week, maybe one every 2 weeks, twice a month is possible, at least for me. Twice a month, potentially 3 times a month if there's a big video I've been working on. But I'll probably explain better in the comments if you wanna ask about it. And now, for the next thing. I think it's time for a bit of touch-up. I've been thinking of getting a new profile picture that I want to make myself, that is. I'm pretty okay at pixel art in Terraria. I got an idea, maybe it'll come out nice, who knows. Maybe when this video is out I already have it on. I don't know, I'm doing this in advance before I forget. And in terms of how things will pan out later, I kinda want to stream a bit more often, at least on slow days. Keep things going and flowing, you know. I feel like there's more stuff I want to say. But long story short, I think I did say what needed to be said. If you want more details, just ask in the comments and I'll answer. I check the comments every day, even on some older videos. I do that sometimes, especially if I get notified about them. With that said, I hope y'all understand. Have a good day, night, existential dread or whatnot, and goodbye.